You've been there. We've all been there, where the wheels are wobbling, things feeling like they're traveling, getting out of control, about to collapse, and the hysteria, the very uncomfortable feelings that come along with that, and it's quite annoying. And so, how do we manage through that? How do we thrive in the unknown times, environments, challenges that are coming at us? Hey, human. Coach Nate here with another mindful focus to share with you. I want to today talk about thriving in uncertain times and building resilience and adaptability. Life comes at us fast, often, throwing curveballs, blindsiding us, hitting us below the belt at times, knocking us down. It can feel like whiplash and just large amounts of change can be very fatiguing if it's not a direct hit. It can be a succession of small things, quite a few of them, too many at a time, or it could be one big, massive, giant, unexpected bam that can throw our worlds into an uproar and cause us to well, uncertainty is stressful. I don't have to tell you that. It's very uncomfortable. A lot of that is due to because we're unfamiliar with this new territory. We were going along and things were stable or however they were. We were familiar with that. And now this has come along. And we're not sure initially what to think about it and how to feel about it. And so now we're uncomfortable first because of the lack of familiarity, or I'll say that's part of it, in addition to what it brought about. All of that stress can lead to a road of anxiety, overwhelm, the uncertainty, the self doubt, the questioning ourselves, fear. Those emotions, not one of them serves us, with perhaps the exception of if we need to react in the moment, imminent car crash, but continuing, dwelling, living in those places of those emotions, they generally don't serve us. They can take us down a road that we really don't want to go down. Interestingly enough, there's studies that report that upwards of 93% of the catastrophic things that what we fear, what we come up with, and have anxiety over in our head, never happen, never come to pass, never fulfilled. Wow, that's a whole lot of time, energy, and effort to be focused on something that isn't a real threat, just perceived in our minds. We could be spending our time elsewhere that does serve us. I'm not saying that anxiety isn't real. I'm saying that what we have anxiety over 93% of the time. So how do we shift and focus? Uncertainty challenges the unexpected. It's going to happen. There's there's no escaping it. It's life. Call it natural, unnatural, whatever the case may be. Adversity is going to strike. The outcome, the impact is determined by how we choose to deal with it. It's coming. We get to choose how to deal with it. That determines what happens, the outcome. The outcome. Yes, we have a choice. We can choose. We may not be able to choose what happened to us, but we can always choose how we respond. All right, so how do we let go, live now, when? The starting point is to build mental muscle, the EQ, the emotional intelligence. The more emotionally intelligent, i.e., mature we are, the less apt we are to emotionally react and respond to whatever happens. You've seen some that just a little bit of a scare and right. Others, you could see their car rolling down the driveway about to crash, and it's a very expensive car, and they're unmoved, unfazed. And it's not because they don't care; they've learned to manage how much they're going to respond and react. Is this life threatening? Is this imminent? Is this going to hurt, harm? And even still, what does this emotional outburst do? What we have, unfortunately, occurring is a great deal of, there's this, there's a saying called flipping your lid. It's when people reach their capacity to remain calm, and all of a sudden a emotion, anger being one of the top, boom. When we're angry, we're not thinking clearly. When we flipped our lid, we're logic right out the window. So emotional intelligence is developing, and you'll get plenty of practice. I promise you, life will provide plenty of ample opportunity to help you practice, to learn to remain calm under pressure when things are presented that are uncomfortable, to manage your emotions in terms of anger. And there's some that just bust out in laughter as a coping mechanism. But building that mental muscle, the ability to not immediately emotional react, putting a pause button. I'm going to count to 10. Got a little logic prevail. It take place rather, and then let calm prevail. Very useful and helpful in dealing with, facing, giving you the ability to to thrive. What we know for sure in life is the only thing that is constant is change. We are better served to embrace the change than to resist it. If we resist it, then we're putting forth, expending energy that we need against something that we have no control over, hoping to change something that we cannot. Conversely, if we embrace it, now we're saying, this is what is, and let me figure out how I'm going to deal with it. And part of that is the saying adapt, adopt, adjust. Adapt, adopt, adjust. As whatever change. Adapt, adopt, adjust. As when we become so concrete, restrictive, that this is the way that this is the way that it is, and I'm moving from it, bad things can happen. I'm driving down the freeway. There's a turn up ahead. If I don't adjust my steering, I'm driving down the freeway. All of a sudden there's torrential rains. If I don't adjust my windshield wipers, adjust my speed, and be ready to adapt with my brakes, those same things can be applied to our emotions. Can't stop the rain. I just can't immediately leave the freeway. So learning to embrace what is for what it is and to navigate through it gets us through it safely. Another resource, way, strategy, approach, technique is to observe what is going on, what is happening. Why did it happen? Just talked about in the last video, being curious to understand it, not why me, but when we observe, and then we look to extract a lesson, the learning from this. The learning may be, okay, in order to prevent this from happening again, do X. The learning may be, okay, I know that I emotionally respond with anger when this occurs, so let me see how I can develop the ability to not respond in anger, because this is going to keep happening, right? So we look for the learning, we extract it, and then we apply that. That helps us to strengthen. We build our muscle. Over time, with practice, you'll get plenty of it. That helps us to endure through uncertain times instead of immediately going off the handle. Oh, yeah, this is familiar, understand, know what I need to do to manage through this. Another approach, because sometimes it can be very overwhelming and very challenging, and we've got to settle ourselves. We've got to take a moment to breathe, sometimes in the midst of it, to get to that point of strength. And that can come through breathing. There are a multitude of various breathing exercises, the 4-7-8, the box breathing, many different breathing exercises. Oxygen getting to our brain helps bring calm. And that helps us to navigate through. Sometimes it's journaling. If it's in the moment, breathing. If it's over an extended period, I'm gonna write my thoughts instead of them swirling around in my head. I'm gonna get them out on paper. That journaling may extend to I'm gonna write down things of gratitude to help me shift from the preposterously negative, disaster, horrible stuff to thinking about good things, and then our focus can begin to shift to something that serves us away from that can take us further down into a spiraling pit of unfun. Helps us when we look at what is good in this, then we will find more and then more. And again, our focus is on the positive that can serve us versus focus on the negative. And then with that focus, that is saying, I want you to invite all your friends, Mr. Negative, and now you're overcome. We may be able to handle a few minions, but when they bring the whole army, so let's not invite them to the party. We are best served to know that we cannot control what is external to us. Influence, manage, mitigate at times, but not control. We can control how we respond and react. We have full control, our emotions. We have that ability. It is something we have to learn to be able to do. But we can control our emotions if we choose to learn to develop that skill set, that ability. That's the building the mental muscle. That's the building resilience. Rather than, I didn't like how that last circumstance occurred. I didn't like how I responded. I didn't like how I reacted. I didn't like how it felt. What can I do differently should a situation that feels or seems like that comes up again? Now that I know the outcome, okay, how can I respond or react differently? Was it worth getting upset? Was it worth the emotional investment? Should I even care that much? Does it matter in the grand scheme of things? Asking yourselves those questions helps you understand, you know what? That's not worth my time, my energy, my focus. I have better things to spend my time on. Emotional intelligence. That's where you build. How do you get there? Yeah, we practice daily. Practice, 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 crash and burn, get back up, practice, 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 crash and burn, get back up, practice, practice, practice. We develop it over time. We develop our vocabularies, our ability to write, everything that we know to do. Yes, there are some people that are born with natural abilities, but when you become highly skilled and adept at it, you have practiced, whether you knew it or not. But when you're intentional about it and you can feel good about it, you can pat yourself on the back and reward yourself for having put the time and the intentionality and the focus and the doing the diligence, doing the work hard. But you get to take credit for the effort that you put forth to help you to achieve getting to the point where you've developed this into a habit. You respond in your subconscious in a positive, calm way automatically without even having to think about it. The carrot to hold in front of yourself is that's growth. Whether you're seeking to run a marathon, work out of the gym, pass an exam for a licensure, achieving something academically, finishing a book, whatever achievement you want to, you have a desire. When you see it, this is helping me get to this action, this effort, is helping me achieve seeing it as growth opportunity and learn to love that process rather than despise it. When you invest in your focus and intentionality on doing the things that help you emotionally develop and grow, that helps you to get through and navigate the unknown, the unsure, the uncertainty, and thrive. Looking for the opportunity instead of looking at it as misfortune or bad luck is a growth mindset. Say it again. Looking at things as an opportunity to learn from, to grow, to extract information and knowledge that you can use and leverage to move forward versus looking at it as, bad luck, misfortune, oh, that's a horrible thing. The first is a growth mindset. I don't need to say the latter, stagnation, and sends you where you don't want to go. You do control your growth more than anybody else. You control, influence, drive your ability to thrive. Why not? Just sharing some insights with you. Feel free to try them, give them a toss. Both of those can be correct answers, but only you can make that determination for yourself. If you like this content, please do give it a like and a subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post additional content like this, and consider sharing this with someone else that you feel will benefit from it. But above all, remember to let go, live now, and win.